Today on The Right Slant, we're breaking down how your firearm can be confiscated in Maine and what you need to do to get it back, legally and step by step. All right, let's talk about the part you came for, the return process. These include a protection from abuse order, a yellow flag, protective custody and risk assessment, or a criminal arrest where the firearm is seized as evidence. It can also occur if you're determined to be a prohibited person under state or federal law. No rumors, no speculation, just the facts. Let's start with protection from abuse orders. If a PFA is issued against you, you may be required to surrender any firearms you own. Law enforcement typically takes possession quickly, holding the firearm until the order expires and the court authorizes its return. Next, Maine's unique yellow flag law, found under 34 BM Res Section 3862A. This differs from red flag laws. In Maine, police cannot petition a confiscation order on their own. Instead, they must take a person into protective custody, get a medical professional to evaluate them, and only then seek a temporary weapons restriction order from a judge. If the judge signs the order, your firearm is held by law enforcement until the restriction is lifted by the court. Then we have simple criminal procedure. If you're arrested and the firearm was present, used, or connected to the incident, it may be seized as evidence. Finally, Maine follows federal law on prohibited persons. If you fall into a prohibited category, like a felony conviction or federal domestic violence prohibition, law enforcement can hold firearms until your rights are legally restored. Before we get into how to actually get your firearm back, do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another breakdown from The Right Slant. All right, let's talk about the part you came for, the return process. If your gun was taken under a protection from abuse order, you must wait for the PFA to expire or be dissolved by the court. Once legally allowed to possess firearms again, you must file a motion with the court requesting the release of the firearm. The court must issue a specific written order authorizing law enforcement to return it. Only with that order can the police release your gun. If your gun was taken under Maine's yellow flag law, the weapons restriction order must first be lifted by the court. You or your attorney must file a petition demonstrating you are no longer a danger as defined by statute. Once the judge terminates the order, law enforcement may return the firearm, but only after confirming you are legally eligible to possess it. If your gun was held as criminal evidence when the criminal case concludes, and if the firearm is not contraband and you are not prohibited, you can submit a property release request. In some cases, the district attorney's office must issue a release authorization before police can return the firearm. This process can take time. If you became a prohibited person, you cannot get the firearm back until your rights are restored. Restoration may involve court proceedings, expungement, or a full federal rights restoration process, depending on the cause. Until that happens, law enforcement must legally hold the firearm or transfer it to a federally eligible third party, if allowed. The key takeaway is this: Maine's firearm return process is almost always tied to a judge's order. Police cannot return your gun unless the court explicitly authorizes it, even after an order expires. Always keep copies of your court orders, any release forms, and proof of eligibility. Losing these documents will slow everything down. If you want more no-nonsense, fact-only firearm rights breakdowns, check out our entire playlist here on The Right Slant. Thanks for watching, and stay informed, stay safe, and stay free.